My name is Diego. I've already cooked in many places around the world, like Italy, Denmark, Saudi Arabia, and India. Before that, I was a packer, a mechanic, a baker, and a confectioner. I'm also the educational coordinator at Gastromotiva São Paulo, the school where I graduated. Today, I'm in Rio de Janeiro to meet other citizens of the world. They have found in Brazil refuge to live, and in gastronomy a passion and a way of life.
Poland is located in Central Europe. Its history has been strongly affected by land disputes. The invasion of Poland by German forces and by the Soviet Union in 1939 marked the beginning of World War II, which resulted in the real massacre of the Polish people and in an intensive migration flow to other countries. Despite its past of conflict, Poland currently has a high Human Development Index. Polish cuisine combines Slavic traditions with influences from Turkish, Hungarian, Russian, German, French, and Jewish cultures. It's rich in meats, varied spices, and different kinds of pastas, cakes, and porridge.
Today, our guest is Nicky Gryczka. She was born in Poland, but had to leave when she was only 3. Nicky has lived in many countries. She fell in love with gastronomy and learned that it can be revolutionary. Nowadays, she's the CEO of Gastromotiva and works to promote food as an agent for transformation in the world. She's going to talk about gastrodiplomacy and will teach us how to make a typical Polish beet soup.
And I have a few surprises with me today as well.
Let's see the ingredients.
We're going to be preparing a chłodnik. I decided to share a recipe from my family. It's a cold soup. And the main ingredient is beetroot. The beetroots we use here is not only the main beetroot, but we're actually using the stems of the beetroot. Most recipes, looking back at history, is already using the whole ingredient. It's just nowadays, but we disconnected from it. I'll let you handle this one. And we're just going to heat it up a little bit so it keeps a little crunchiness.
When do you learn to cook this recipe?
My mother that taught me, but it's a recipe that's traditionally been produced over years in Poland. So my grandma used to prepare it, and actually it is the one soup that I prepare whenever we have guests. So usually during Easter I prepare it because it's quite warm, and then bringing the soup, it's chilling, and spoon a little bit more. Otherwise, if it overheats, if it heats too much, it loses the red color.
Okay.
So just shimmering. It's a soup that kids like a lot. You're going to see afterward actually has a finer and more creamy texture and taste. Most important ingredients are the yogurt, the kefir, and the sour cream, because that's going to give the creamy texture I mentioned before. All the grated beetroots and the stems, perfect. Let's do it.
I should start from
Cucumber, pour it all in. Perfect. Next, radish.
Okay, great.
Perfect. So just mix it up a little bit. Before putting the yogurt, we could put the salt and pepper already. In Poland, we like a lot of pepper. It's about half a spoon for this amount of ingredients that we're preparing. Start with the yogurt. So this is the creamy texture that keeps it nice and fresh when you serve it in.
This soup is kind of very creamy and has this pink color.
Yes.
And also you have the fresh veggies here down to give more tasty.
The flavor of beetroot always reminds me of earth as well. And I think that's what makes Polish cuisine so special as well, because it's very connected to earth. Let's put some sour cream. The sour cream was pre-prepared, because not all countries actually have sour cream. And our second last ingredient is kefir.
This is the milk kefir.
It's a milky kefir, and if you have a kefir grain, you can make it actually at home as well, very easily. We did save a bit. A little surprise for you, because I know that you love cooking with whole ingredients, but we kept the skin and just put it in the oven to put a little bit of crunchiness on top. And here's my magic ingredient, which is called dill, exactly.
I love it.
And just mixed in, and it gives us this freshness, and we put it everywhere.
When I know it's ready?
It needs to be nicely mixed in. So for example, if we mix it a little bit more, there are pieces of sour cream that's a bit more dense. But I think we're there. So I think we can go have a taste of my home.
Let's do it.
So obviously when I moved to Germany, I started thinking, what is identity? What is a nationality? Where do I belong? And for me, nationality is just one thing, it's defined borders. But culture is what's behind nationality, right? So that makes us who we are part of. And so I think food is such an important element in that. And so the more I started cooking my grandma's recipes, the more I would feel Polish.
But
So
I'm very hungry, so I would like to try the soup. Can
let's try the soup, yes, please.
It's very creamy.
Do you like it?
I love it. Why you left your country?
So actually during the 80s, Poland was still a communist country, and we faced a lot of limitations. We're not free in our own country, and my family actually had the opportunity to leave. We ended up being able to go to Germany. My cousins and aunts, they all stayed in Poland. They suffered. So I think that is why this topic is so close to my heart, and it's my dream to give more opportunities. And that's what we do with Gastromotiva. We give these opportunities.
When I start to study, also I start with the desire to teach other people. Every day I see new students learning more and teach other people.
We're not just planting seeds, but we're already building a forest. The beautiful opportunity we have now to build this forest around the world, to bring our social methodology, to bring our courses around the world, opening these paths, and really working towards the Sustainable Development Goals, towards Sustainable Development number 2, Zero Hunger, and all of this in partnership. Nowadays we don't just work with poor communities and underprivileged people in general, but we work with refugees already.
Am I also curious about gastrodiplomacy?
So gastrodiplomacy is bringing everyone to the table in a way, discovering that we have more in common than the differences that we have. We have millions of refugees nowadays. These numbers are also people. Each of these numbers is a human being behind. It's about opening up our houses. It's about listening to each other, about exploring the stories of people and making them feel welcome. I believe that gastrodiplomacy and food can bring us closer to ending wars. It can bring us closer to making the frontiers seem unnecessary. And so it's just as simple as bringing people to the table. No matter if you're tall or you're short, you sit down, you look into each other's eyes, you create trust over the dishes you're going to share. And these are all the ingredients that you need towards building something new together, I think.
And thank you for coming, Nicky. It was a pleasure, this conversation today.
Thank you for having me. And let's keep eating.
Right.
The Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations announced in 2018 that there were 821 million people in the world suffering from hunger. The main reasons are armed conflicts, economic crisis, climate change, and extreme natural phenomena such as droughts and floods. How can gastrodiplomacy help reverse this reality?